Hello everyone. So this video will be around Certified Kubernetes Security Specialist exam, and in this video I will be covering some tips, tricks, strategy and something other than what I have already covered in Certified Kubernetes Administrator exam. So if you have gone through the videos, all the strategy, tips, tricks to make your life easier during the exam still applies, still holds good, but this is something for specific to security specialist exam, and the material with that I'm going to present in this video will add some more extra value, because security specialist is slightly difficult exam compared to the other two, so you have to be much more prepared, and much more you have to do slightly different things compared to administrator exam. So let's walk through this. So if you, so I advise you better you just go through all the tips, tricks, strategy for the administrator certified Kubernetes administrator exam. And once you have watched that and you are comfortable with those things, if you want to follow or not follow, it's okay. But but this is something which will add some more extra value. So let's see what are the things that we can add on to the already existing strategy. So first, I just advise you to anyway, this applies for both administrator and application developer as well, but just to because they may change some things. So first is resources allowed during the Kubernetes security specialist exam. So I'll just walk you where is that particular section. So herein for the CKS exam, right? So just be aware that this is the allowed documentation, like Kubernetes docs. So anyway, this will be given, but because this one since Trivy, Falco, and App Armor is allowed for this CKS exam, so we can expect one question on Trivy, one on Falco, and one on App Armor. So this is kind of a giveaway, a hint that exam will definitely cover one question on Trivy, Falco, and App Armor. So it's better to be prepared and practice Trivy, Falco, and App Armor question at least once. So just to let you know that this is my intention of just make you aware that okay, this 3 extra question will come and we should definitely prepare. And second thing is the second URL is important instructions for the CKS exam. So herein we have the CKS exam, and I just want to highlight the important instruction, and I will be covering that in my presentation as well. So just I advise you to walk you through that everything is correct, but some points which I want to so this is the important part. And anyway, they advise that you should do sudo -re whenever you can, so root privileges can be obtained. So if you are running some command and it's not working, so sometimes if you are not very comfortable with Linux or Unix based system, you may think that there could be some problem with the command that you are running, but it's just that you have to do sudo -i. So you will be so you don't have to do sudo command and all. If you can straight away go to sudo root privilege, that better, it's much better, right? You can save on some time. And herein for the CKS environment, they have also mentioned that there are 16 clusters. So just want to highlight comprise the exam environment, each for one task. So herein they have pretty much gave away that hint that there's one task for 16 clusters. So we can assume, so there could be 16 questions, and each cluster is made of one master and one worker node. So I will cover this more in my slide as well. So they are pretty much giving away that there will be 16 questions because 16 clusters, and for each task, and every cluster is one master and one worker. So if we have that in mind before we start the exam, so we know there are no 2 worker nodes. There are only 1 worker node for every cluster or every context. So we will not get confused that we have to change some file in more than 1 worker nodes. So this is something it will just give some kind of ease of mind if we know that beforehand. So I just wanted to point out this instruction, and this I will be covering context and all. So if you are new to Kubernetes, or if you haven't practiced much, that you get confused. And just that kubectl with k alias is already set up, so you don't have to do any setup. Just to let you know that it's already being set up, and auto completion is already set up. So just previously few years back, this we have to do this, but now it comes by default. And if you are using YAML parser, YQ, JQ, all those things are there. If you are comfortable with TMX, of course, go ahead and do, but it's like a bit advanced, and curl and wget are already there, and man pages are also there for all Linux based tools. So just this is just I want to highlight. Okay, moving on. So I have put this in slides as well, and now I will just if you are like not very comfortable, just try to explain. As I mentioned, there are 16 clusters, so 16 context and 16 questions will be there, and they have already mentioned that each cluster is one master, one worker, and you are on client terminal. So first you will start from here. So as soon as you log in, as soon as you start the exam, you will be in a terminal which we call the client terminal, and from that client terminal we will be able to run a kubectl commands. But before we run the kubectl command, let's say the question 1 comes up, and the question 1 says you have to work on this cluster called K8s. So let's say there are 16, so A, B, C, D all the way up to PK8s. So there are 16 clusters. So for when you start, they will say question 1, you start with some cluster name. This I just put some imaginary names. So let's say you start with that. So you will go into first cluster. Use context we use for for using like context the cluster 1. Then if you want to switch to a second cluster, whatever be the name. So I'm just like illustrating that I'm going to from A to B for the question B. So I will be in the second. Then similarly, I'm after a second question I go to 3. So if I use kubectl config use context CKS, so I'll be moving to the third cluster. And this is so when you are on terminal, when you are on terminal, you can use regular kubectl. You have to change context and then run the subsequent command. Let's say kubectl get pods or edit pod, edit deployment, whatever. Let's say you want to create some network policy, so you have to make sure you just remember it's copy pasteable thing on the left side in the exam. So but there's something like this. I just want to point it out. And for every, as they mentioned, for every context or every cluster will have one master, one worker. So when you have something to do on master and worker, especially for the security specialist exam, so let's say you are on question 1, and the question 1 happens that you have to modify some file either on master or worker. So from client terminal, you will do SSH to master, then modify some file, restart some service, whatever, and then you do exit and you go back to the client terminal. But if the or it could be you have to modify something in worker, so you do SSH worker, you go to the worker node, exit and come back to the starting point, which is your client terminal. And so in this way you have to like so when you go to question 2, they will clearly tell you the node name. So let's say for the question 2, the master and worker node name will be different. So just you have to like click some link, the node name will be copied automatically, and then you say SSH. Let's say you go for second node, for the second cluster's master BK8s, you will do SSH, whatever be the node name, make some changes, exit. If it's in worker node, you will just copy paste the node name and SSH into that, make some changes and come back. So you will be always coming back to this place. So this is something, if you are not very comfortable, like you can get confused, because there will be like 2-hour time, and you should not get confused. Like you should always be aware and conscious, like you are on which question, which context. They have like, anyway it will be copy pasteable buttons and links, but this is something which you should be like mentally prepared, so that you don't waste your precious time during the exam. So I will be covering this in my demo also, like just to make this point more clear. But if you just see this, like if you just visualize this like picture, you will be much more comfortable and much more mentally prepared. So this is the point which I wanted to. So let's say I am on the. So first is like this is anyway in the exam you don't have to do kubectl config get context, but for every question they will ask you to do something like this: kubectl config use context CKS. So just imagine this is the third question and this is CKS third cluster. So, but I will just show you how does all the commands look like. So let's say I copy this and go to the terminal. So I am on my client terminal. So if I just paste this command, so I can see I have just set up for this demo, I have set up 4 clusters, A, B, C, D, and they are just pointing to Minikube, and one is pointing to my real cluster with master and worker. So let's say I am on Minikube, so it's saying DKS, there is a star, but there is a better way to see what is the current context. So if I just copy this command, it's saying D, which is same here, like DKS. I am currently on this context, DKS, and if I so I can so when I am on D context, I can just for illustration, I can just do like this. So it is showing in D, these are the pods, but if I change the context, so this is how we switch kubectl config use context, and now I am going from D to C. Now the context has been changed, and if I do kubectl get pods, so I am seeing different set of pods because this is the real cluster, not the Minikube. So this is now if I do current context, I am on this C. Same way I can just switch it again, like now I am on C, so I can make it D, and now these pods are different. So just to make this point where so during the exam, it's like if you are just moving back and forth because you have 16 questions, right? So make sure you are always on the right context, and this is just to make you more knowledgeable on this context aspect. Okay, second is which I mentioned about this diagram, right? Master worker. So so let's say you always start in the client terminal. So client terminal is something like I am on the client terminal, right? So I am on because this is my local machine, so I am here, like I am not on the master or worker. So this is my local laptop, and I am on the client terminal. Now if I want to modify some file or make some changes in the either my master or worker, I have to do SSH master. And if I do SSH master, I will automatically log into the master node, and I can just make some changes, for example modify some file, whatever, and I can exit. Same I can do for the worker. If I need to do something in worker machine, I make some changes and do some changes and exit. Only thing in the exam they have mentioned that you cannot there is no nested SSH. So you cannot from once you are in master, you cannot do worker. This may not work. So you have to always exit, come to the client terminal, and then go to the worker. So this is just something that you should be aware of, so that you during the exam you don't get confused, like where you are moving, and these two are interlinked, this context and which machine you are modifying some files. It's much more important for the security specialist because it requires a lot of file changes and local changes, etc. Okay, so this is already they have covered like important instruction, that's sudo -i. So just if you are in the master or the worker, if you are doing some changes, just anyway I'm already root, but in the exam you will be like not the root, it will be some other. So if you can just do you will immediately become root, and you can make next set of command like editing some file. It would be much easier. Okay, next is this is I have anyway covered in the administrator exam, but because there's a lot of file changes that you will be required. So for the security specialist, I always copy that in some variable. So you can use FG, F1, G, F2, or you can ignore also, but it just makes it easier. So I'll just show you how. So let's say I have there's Kube API server and Kube controller manager. Let's say these two important files I have to modify for some question. So I have set it up in variable FNG, and if I go to my master node, I have just set it up, and now those are set up in those two variables. I can see so let's say I am on question number 7, which I have talked about in my administrator exam strategy. So what I can do is I can just what I have done is make directory 7 cd7. Now I am on folder 7. If I do ls, so there's nothing at the moment. But what I can do is I can now take backup. So if once I do this, the backup file is created. Same for the other one also. Let's say I just have to modify both of them. So I can I have just made backup of both the files, and now let's say I just want to do like modify this file. So this file $f will be now pointing to the actual location, so that my changes are applied immediately, and local is just the backup, we are just taking a copy. So I can straight away make some changes, whatever is required as per the exam. Okay, so this last thing is just this exam is more about file names, like paths and file names. So this I have put it for your reference. So this is the most important file, Kube API server. 80%, 70, 80, 90% you will be modifying this file only, and it is at this particular location. So I'll just show you. So this is the location where this file exists, and along with this, maybe Kube Controller Manager or something, or HCD you may have to edit, but that's the important location of that file. And I'll just show you the other location as well. One is cd var lib kubelet, and this has got config.yaml. So in some cases you may have to make some changes. Yeah, if it is some question related to like CKS benchmarks or something. So I have just pointed out those file locations. So, and for the logs, this is the log where you can check. So this is under cd var log containers, and you will see all the logs. Okay, so this I have already. So HCD may be in that location, or sometime it's on this particular location. CD etc Kubernetes YAML. So let me check. CD etc Kubernetes. Okay, in this case it's not there, so I will check it and update the slide. Anyway, slides will be available for reference. And let this one var log. Okay, this also doesn't exist. So okay, so I'll modify these two are not there. And for example Falco and all, this is the location where Falco YAML files are there. This will be in the I have installed Falco on my worker node. So I'll just show you cd etc Falco. So this is just for your reference. And for the okay, this is just duplication. So for all the container logs, so container logs, in some cases you may have to if you want to troubleshoot something like for example Kube API server, right? So this is the log, and what I can do is I can just, so this I can see some, like if there's error or something. This is just for your reference. Okay, and service file. So if anything related to service file, this is the location, especially for kubelet. Kubelet starts as a service, so it's in the etc systemd system kubelet service, and this is the configuration file. So you can just check it out. And this is like how the kubelet service has been set up. Now some command line tools, like so I just wanted to point it out that like for because they have already mentioned Falco, App Armor and Trivy will be coming up. So I just wanted to like, you don't have to memorize. If you just do Falco -- help, it will just show you how like what options are available. So I'm on my worker node because I installed Falco and the other tool here. So if you do like this, you will see all the options that you may have to use, especially if, the option for something like so if I just do grep minute, that second, sorry, it's actually second. Let me check. Second. So for example, if the question is asking how to like log for some few seconds, so they have given -m number of seconds. So this is you can just scroll through it, but just to save you some time, I just straight away did the grep part. So if there are -r, for example, rules file, and -m for the seconds, all these options will be there. So you just have to remember only one command, -help, and after that you can of course do a grep on something like rules. So you will see all the option immediately, and as I mentioned, the other one was for the seconds, so you will see a number of seconds. And same for the app armor. So app armors, so you will see like enabled or all those things. Same for the parser, so how to like pass in some file, and you can just read through it. And same next is last is trivy. So trivy, for example, you can do same. So trivy image, they are saying okay how to use image. So if you once you do image, you can just do trivy image again --help. So it will give you more option, right? After trivy, like how to let's say CVRT. Let's say CVRT, these are the flags: unknown, low, medium, high, critical. They haven't given any example, but if you come till here, at least you know CVRT, trivy image CVRT, then how to use this. So let's just run one example. One of the example I will just take and run right now. So this will just go ahead and download the image and check if critical and high is there. So same for the other one. I have just provided here, I have covered this in trivy section as well, but I just wanted to like make it some reference here also. And so some command line tools that we should be aware, and it's good to like have a reference here also. And that's all. Thanks for watching. Bye.